Good afternoon, students. This is your English class teacher, Mr. Yes Pandit, and today we discuss about the poem "The Road Not Taken" by an American poet, Robert Frost. The poem is actually of four stanzas, but today we are covering only two stanzas. But before we discuss about the poem, "The Road Not Taken," we also need to discuss about the background of the poem. And this poem actually is composed by an American poet, Robert Frost, to make fun at his friend Edward Thomas, an English Wales poet. And because both of them once were working together, and while walking, Edward Thomas was regretting about the choosing path. And later on, what happens? Robert Frost says that no matter whatever road you choose, but you will always regret about the choosing of the path. The poem is a light-hearted, but people took it seriously because it is about the decision making throughout the life itself. So let us read the poem first, and then discuss about the poem. While discussing about the poem, let us discuss about the literal meaning, and then let us discuss about the deeper or implied meaning of the poem also. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then I took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. Students, see, actually here the poet is beginning with the two roads, and these two roads are just diverged. Diverged means what? They are actually separated, because you also need to know that the poet was actually walking on the foot throughout the forest itself. But see, actually, first of all, he was traveling over the one road only, and the road again forward was divided into or separated into two roads. And see, the yellow wood, yellow color actually represent to the autumn season, and wood means trees or forest. Here yellow color represent to the autumn, that's why yellow wood means the forest which is set into the autumn. And sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. See, actually one person cannot walk many paths at once, so that's why poet is regretting about, as he cannot travel both the paths. Long I stood and looked down as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. See, actually here the road was leading throughout the forest itself, and the same road was just bending under the or in the undergrowth. Here you also need to know what is mean by undergrowth. You know, whenever we go to the forest, the roads actually are the footpath, and which are covered with the small plants and bushes also. So undergrowth means a small plant and bushes. So this road was covered with the small plants and bushes. That's why the poet was looking from the long distance where the road was leading. Here, in another word, or in other word, with the implied meaning, we can see that yellow would represent to the life itself. And even if we discuss about the yellow color represent to the state of mind where the person is not able to take the proper decision throughout the life itself. And two roads, because whenever we think about the many options, many paths, See, actually, for example, suppose you are now in the ninth class, and after 1 year you are going to pass the, uh, you are going to 10th class, and after that, when you will pass the 10th exam, you will have many questions in your mind about which field to choose, whether it is art, science, or commerce faculty to choose. Even if anyone completes the degree itself, or while choosing the field itself about the career, there are many questions which can come forward whether to choose, suppose for example, engineering or medical field. So in this way many questions comes. You know that both the paths, that means both the field, are equally good, parallel, but they are both different from one another, but they are not, there is no such thing as a better or worse. That's why I see here the poet, here the meaning of the undergrowth, because actually the road was bending in the undergrowth, and poet was trying to looking in the future also, which path will be better to choose, which will have the better outcome also. Then see actually the second stanza. Then I took the other, just as fair and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. See, as far as first of all, he observed the first road and then he took the other path, and he says that it was also fair, it was also nice. Just as fair means what? It was also nice or good as the before one, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. See, actually the second road also was grassy. Grassy means full of grass, and wanted wear means which was not used by anyone. And that's why the poet sees that as it was not used by anyone, that also that path also was good, and it had better claim, it was popular path also. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. See, actually passing there means what? The act of walking over the road. As far as the second road was damaged, one means what? Damaged, due to the passing, due to act of passing over that road. And that's why he thinks that that road also was better, or that road also was good for to walk over, and he thinks that it was really same as the before one. So for today, this is enough, I think, and remaining part of the poem, or remaining two stanzas of the poem, will discuss in the next session, in the next video.